Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have my best of 2020 video. I can't believe that we have made it. We have survived 2020, and today I'm here to share with you my top favorite products in each category. I was feeling a little self-conscious, I guess, putting this list together because I feel like a lot of these might feel really repetitive if you watch my channel a lot, because if something is a favorite of mine, it is my favorite and I probably talk about it all the time, and so I was worrying that maybe this video would be boring because if you watch my channel regularly then you probably already know what my top favorites are in most categories, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. There are some where I feel like you may not know exactly what I'm gonna pick, and also I feel like it just kind of reinforces that those things are in fact my top favorites, so hopefully you don't mind hearing about things for perhaps the 10th time or the 20th time if you've been around here for a while. But for those, I will try to keep it concise. So starting with face primer, I actually have two favorites and both are drugstore. The reason why I chose two is because one of them I used up a while ago. I still have it here because I saved it for my year-end makeup empties video, but I think that this one is getting harder to find, so I wanted to share an alternative favorite, and I feel like I like both of these pretty equally. This is the first one. This is the CoverGirl Vitalist Go Glow Luminizing Lotion. I have the shade Daybreak. I think it comes in a few different shades. It is a very glowy primer. Personally, I love that. I love that this one is super glowy because I feel like the glow actually shows through a foundation. Sometimes foundation I feel like kind of covers up the glow of a primer, but this one would definitely shine through, and it was just a very effective glowy primer, also very hydrating. It just felt really good on my skin. This was in my project pan for a while this year and I was raving about it a ton during that time because I was absolutely loving it. And I do think you can still get this on Walmart's website and maybe in other stores, I'm not sure, but I had to mention that one because honestly it is one of my top favorite products of the year. The other one is another drugstore favorite. This is the NYX High Glass Face Primer. This one I have the shade Moonbeam. I do think this is pretty similar to the CoverGirl one. This one also comes in multiple shades. I think that this is the lightest shade, and it's just a light kind of champagne-y glowy primer. Not quite as intensely glowy as the CoverGirl one. I think it's a little bit more subtle, but it still just gives this beautiful luminosity to your skin, and it feels like it just creates a nice smooth canvas for makeup. It's not super greasy or anything, but I would still say it does feel hydrating, just not oily like I feel like some face primers can be. So both of those I feel like are kind of tied for my favorite primers of the year. Next for the foundation category. So this is a category where I am very particular. I don't like very many foundations, and I have two. I tried to pick just one for most categories, but there are some categories where I just couldn't because I really feel like I go back and forth between these two. So my number one favorite, and this is one that you can still purchase, is the Pacifica A Light Clean Foundation. This one is more full coverage. There actually was a time that I didn't love this foundation, but this year I fell in love with it, and the way that I found that I love to use it is using just a very small amount. Back when I wasn't loving it, I think I was just using too much of it, so now that I've kind of learned how I like to use this, I really enjoy it. It is very dewy, but I feel like it just looks very natural on my skin, and even though it is higher coverage, I just feel like it makes my skin look great, so I don't know what else to say about that. But the other one, I feel like I would be lying if I didn't mention this one. I still love the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation so much, and number one, I don't really support the company anymore. Number two, it's discontinued, so I don't need to spend much time on it, but truly, I feel like I toggle back and forth between these two all the time. Sometimes I like this one more, sometimes I like this one more, sometimes I like them both equally. They kind of are in a battle right now for my number one spot. The Physicians Formula one is more of a medium coverage foundation, and I'm kind of still on the hunt for like my perfect medium coverage foundation because like I said, the Pacifica one is more full coverage, or high coverage I should say. So the search continues. I'm really not trying to influence you guys to go out and buy this one. I just feel like I had to mention it because I still love it so much. Today I'm actually wearing a combination of the two, which this has been one of my favorite foundation pairings lately. Beautiful combo. I think in the new year, I'm probably going to start opening myself up to more high-end foundations. I've pretty much stuck to drugstore in the past, and I do think I would have probably a better chance of finding a new favorite if I do explore some higher-end brands. I do want to try, I think the next one on my list to try is the Thrive Cosmetics CC Cream. I've heard good things, and it sounds like it might be similar to this one. So if anybody has any other suggestions, let me know, but still kind of on the hunt for my perfect like skin-like medium coverage foundation, because that is my favorite type of foundation to wear. Okay, so next for concealer, this was a hard one for me because if I'm being honest, my favorite concealer right now is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is another thing that I completely kind of changed my mind about. I think that my makeup preferences have changed over the last year. This is a very high coverage concealer, and yet somehow it still looks really nice on my skin. It never looks dry. I also like using this as a spot concealer on my face. It looks great that way too. It never looks like crusty or cakey. Unfortunately, I am kind of trying not to support Too Faced anymore after this, so as much as I love this one, I wouldn't repurchase it. Now, if you're okay with Too Faced, then maybe, you know, this would be a good recommendation for you. But the other two foundations that I loved this year were the NYX Born to Glow concealer and the Jordana Take Cover concealer. And just before filming this, I found out some really sad news. Just the icing on the cake of 2020. That apparently Jordana, the company, is shutting down. They're going out of business. And right now, as I'm filming this, they're having a 50% off site-wide sale. I'm so sad, but I also loved their Take Cover concealer. And I know a lot of you guys purchased this off of my recommendation, and I'm very sorry to say that it's no longer going to be sold, but if you are wanting to take advantage of that 50% site-wide sale, now would be the time because it is your last chance. So I loved this one. This one, while it was not full coverage, it was just very creamy. It would blend in like 2 seconds. Just such an effortless concealer. Just the perfect everyday concealer. I never got around to repurchasing it, and I probably won't, even though it is going to be gone after this year. I'm the kind of person where, like, even if something is a holy grail, I don't necessarily feel like I have to have it in my life at all times, especially when I have other products in my collection that I want to use up first. So this one will be sorely missed. But the NYX Born to Glow I also love. I don't love it quite as much as the Too Faced one, sadly. I feel like it just doesn't have quite as much coverage, but it's still good coverage. I feel like I may need to get a shade up in this one because I have the shade Alabaster, and I feel like it's just the slightest bit too light for my skin tone, and sometimes when a concealer is too light, it just doesn't quite look right, when it would look way better if it was the proper shade. So I may look into that, but today I'm actually wearing these two mixed, and I love that combo as well. But this is a fantastic drugstore concealer option for something a little bit more medium coverage. It's really not meant to be full coverage, and I appreciate that they don't claim that it is because it's not. But that was absolutely one of my top favorites of the year. Still just doesn't quite... It's just not the same. They both have different claims, so they're not meant to be like the same exact kind of concealer. So for powder, this is going to have to be another 2-time winner. By the way, the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation and I think the Jordana Take Cover Concealer were both in my 2019 favorites as well, so those were kind of 2-time winners again. But my other 2-time winner is the e.l.f. HD Powder in Soft Luminance. This is my favorite powder of the year out of all the ones I've tried. I feel like this one just is my workhorse favorite powder that I've tried. Great for the under eyes, great for all over the face. It's got a slight glow to it that I think just looks very natural. It never looks too heavy or powdery on my skin, so this just checks all the boxes for me, and it's super affordable. My favorite contour this year was one that I tried for the first time earlier this year, and it is the Oma Beauty Double Take Contour and Highlight Stick. I absolutely love both the contour and the highlight here. Very creamy and blendable, and it's the perfect shade for a contour for my skin tone. This is the shade White Pearl, I believe. It just blends out so beautifully, and it's one of the creamiest like stick products I've ever tried. So highly recommend that if you haven't tried it yet. It goes on sale on their website all the time for like $10 or $15, so I definitely recommend snagging it when it goes on sale. I've also heard some people have said they've seen this at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so that would be another good place to check. My favorite blush of the year, this is no surprise to anyone, the Clove & Hallow Hydra Tint Serum Blush in the shade Blossom. I talk about this all the time. It is the perfect, just light neutral pink. It looks like a nail polish. It even has a little brush here that you can just dot onto your cheeks, and it blends out so quickly. I love when things blend out quickly. That's one of my favorite qualities to look for in a product. It's a blush that doesn't look like blush on my skin tone, and I think that is kind of hard to find, honestly. Usually you can tell when someone's wearing blush, but this just looks like my cheek's natural color if I've just been out in the cold or something. Like, it's like my perfect blush. My cheeks, but better, I guess you could say. For setting spray, I did find a new favorite this year, and now it almost looks like this is being discontinued, which makes me really sad. I don't know if maybe they repackaged it, because there is another one that looks similar now, but this is the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. They have one now that's called like their Dewy Coconut Setting Mist, and I almost wonder if it's the same thing, just like repackaged, because this one does have a coconut scent to it, but this is a great setting spray. This is the one I'm wearing today, and it just gives a very healthy, slight sheen to the skin, nothing super dramatic, but it just kind of melts all your makeup together and it gives you a nice sort of slightly dewy effect. But I have to say I also still love, and I feel like these are tied, I still love the Pixi Glow Mist. This is an empty bottle. I also have their Rose Glow Mist now, which is pretty much the same thing, it's just rose scented. I have it in a different bottle because that sprayer kind of crapped out on me, but I feel like these do very similar things, but I feel like that there is still a important spot in my collection for the Pixi Glow Mist because it's even a little bit dewier and it can almost make your skin look a little bit oily if you're not careful, because there is quite a bit of oil in the spray. If you want a cheaper alternative, the e.l.f. one is similar, but I still feel like it doesn't quite beat out my Pixi Glow Mist because they're slightly different and I love both. So again, they're kind of tied. I felt like I had to mention both. So that is the face category. Now getting into eyes. So my favorite, I have a few eyeshadow favorites. I wanted to start with kind of the small, like quad-sized palette category. I, like many people, fell in love with the e.l.f. bite-sized quads this year. The one I have is the shade Rosewater, and I love this one. Beautiful, cool, rosy tones in here. I love this for just a quick everyday look. The shimmers are very pretty and dimensional, almost kind of wet looking. These were very hyped up this year, I think for good reason. I also really liked their pumpkin pie one, but I decluttered that one mainly just because I don't really wear those shades very often, but the quality was great on that one too. So if you can find a shade in this line that you like, I think that this is quite a steal for $3, and even not for $3, like the shadows are just good quality regardless of the price. Now for eyeshadow palettes. So in the drugstore category, this is a two-time winner, the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. Last year, the e.l.f. 18-pan palettes were one of my palette favorites. This one, even over the New Classics one that I have, this one stands out to me as even more of a favorite. I just love the color story. The shadows in here are incredible quality. I am actually wearing a couple of the shades on my eyes right now. I'm wearing Abyss and Oasis, those two like matte blues. I love how unique some of these blues are. Just a wonderful palette for $14. I think one of the best palettes at the drugstore, both color story wise and quality wise. The high-end palette favorite for me, nobody is surprised with this, Urban Decay Stoned Vibes. I love this one. I know not everybody loved this. I think that if you like very textured, shimmery, foiled shadows, you would love this. If you like ColourPop Super Shock shadows or the e.l.f. Long Lasting Lustrous shadows, the shimmers in here are similar to those, kind of squishy, like a cream to powder sort of feel. The shimmers in here pretty much need to be applied with a finger, which is also like not everybody's cup of tea. I love them. If you love jewel tones, if you love very foiled, sparkly shimmers, this would be right up your alley. I won't spend too much time on this again because I've talked about it so much, but today I'm wearing the shade Opal Aura on my lid. Most of the shimmers in here are kind of duochrome. Actually, I think all of them are, some more than others, but they're all very shifty and just fun to use, really fun to use. So I think that's one of the best releases of the year, personally. I don't really have any standout eyeliner favorites. I am not that picky about eyeliner, so I just kind of decided to skip that category. For mascara, I have two. I have a drugstore and a high-end. My drugstore favorite is the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara. Love this one. It is a curved, kind of spiky brush, but I like that it's kind of a small brush, so it's easy to just comb through my lashes without making a mess. Very reliable, everyday mascara for me. $5. My high-end favorite, I feel like I have to mention this because I just feel like there's nothing else quite like this out there. The Urban Decay Lash Freak. This brush is pretty wild, and I don't think this one is for everyone. I mean, no mascara is for everyone. Mascara is so personal, but this will give you intense length, intense volume. It's a little high maintenance because it's kind of a wet formula, so it can get like on your eyelid if you're not careful. The brush is super weird. I love it. I know there are a lot of people who hate it, so to each their own, but I think if you like what I like and you like really, really intense lashes that it can be a little clumpy sometimes, but I don't mind. I don't feel like the clumpiness is too extreme because I can comb through it. If that sounds like it would be up your alley, this is a great one to check out, and it does come in a mini for $13, so maybe try that one if you're not sure you want to commit to it, or wait for it to go on sale. So for brows, I have both a pomade and a brow gel to share. My favorite pomade, this I've been using all year long and it is still going strong, the ABH Dip Brow Pomade in Taupe. I feel like there is a reason why this is so many people's holy grail. I've had this open now for a year and it has not started to dry out. The shade on me is perfect. Yeah, I can see this lasting maybe like 2+ years. So it's a really great value, even though it's a little more expensive up front. This is one of those things I feel like is a great investment because it lasts so much longer than any drugstore brow pencil. And then this is a 2-time winner again, the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel. I have the shade Taupe. This is just such a great brow gel. It's not too wet. It just gives like a soft hold to your brows. It's got a little bit of a fiberiness to it that I think can just kind of fluff up your brows a bit. And the tint is not too dark, so it's just enough to kind of give my brows a little something, but it's not messy like some tinted brow gels can be. So this is a favorite. This has been a favorite for a long time. I think this is the second one that I've had, and I think I will continue to repurchase it because I just love it. So for lips, I wanted to share a bullet lipstick, a liquid lipstick, and a gloss favorite. My favorite bullet lipstick formula would actually have to be the e.l.f. moisturizing lipstick. I have 2 shades, Red Carpet and Flirty and Fabulous. This is a great, comfortable lipstick formula. And I actually have 2 bold shades, and I'm sure it would be great in a nude shade as well, but I love it for a bold color because it's a little bit sheer at first, but it can be built up to be more opaque, and it's just very comfortable without feeling like it's going to slide around my lips. So I really enjoy these. I actually discovered them kind of by chance because I got Flirty and Fabulous as a gift with purchase with an order, and then later on I ordered Red Carpet, which is more of like a classic red color. So I really love this formula. It was actually kind of a rediscovered formula because a long time ago I had the shade Ravishing Rose, and I remember loving that one, and I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then I came back to it, and this is a great, very affordable lipstick formula. For liquid lipstick, this is a pretty recent discovery, but it quickly became one of my all-time favorite lipstick formulas. This is the Ofra Flexi Slick formula. So this is not your traditional liquid lipstick. It is obviously in the format of a liquid lipstick, and it does go on with the same opacity as a liquid lipstick, but it doesn't completely dry down. It feels and looks more like just a classic satin finish lipstick, but the staying power is phenomenal. I was particularly impressed with the 2 bold shades I have. I have Velvet and Spark. It's like a purpley berry and a red. I was nervous because since these are not completely transfer proof, I thought that this formula would not be good for these kinds of shades, but it stays on so well despite not being like a very drying liquid lipstick. And I also love the nude here. This is the shade Smooth. So I highly recommend this formula. If you like long wearing lipsticks but you don't like drying liquid lipsticks, you may really enjoy this formula. And then for gloss, I again have a drugstore and high-end favorite. My drugstore favorite is the Milani Keep It Full in Soft Rose. This is a lovely formula. It is meant to be plumping, but I don't feel like it's very tingly on my lips, which I appreciate. It smells like mint chocolate chip ice cream, which is one of my favorite ice cream flavors, so I really enjoy that. And this I've described before as a BB cream for my lips because this is like the exact color of my lips. It just makes my lips look so like pillowy soft. Love that. And then my high-end favorite, a lot of the reason why I love this so much is the packaging, but I also love the lip gloss itself. The Bite Yay Sayer Gloss. This was a new release this year. I have the shade Sugar Drizzle. Before this, I didn't have a clear lip gloss in my collection, and I'm really glad to have one now because it's very useful. And I like that this one has a slight like golden shimmer to it. Packaging of this I talked about before, but I just feel like it's so much more sanitary than most lip glosses. And I love that I'm going to be able to get everything out of here without having to remove any kind of stopper. This is going to be very satisfying to pan one day, I'm sure. So I just think this is a great packaging design, and I could definitely see myself buying more shades of this in the future. If I ever am in the market for a new gloss, I will have my eyes on this line for sure. So this one makes me sad, but my favorite lip liner of the year is from Jordana. It is their Draw the Line lip liner in Rock and Rose. I'm wearing this today. Today I'm wearing this lip liner and this gloss with the e.l.f. Srsly Satin lipstick in Creme. That one didn't make it into my yearly favorites. I do love that lipstick, mainly the shade, not so much the formula, but just FYI in case you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips. This is like the perfect rosy, brownish nude lip liner. Jordana's lip liner formula has been a favorite of mine for so many years. I included these in my 2019 favorites, probably my 2018 favorites too. Probably even, did I do a 2017 favorites? I think so. This has been a long time favorite for me. I'm so sad that they're no longer going to exist soon, but I'm sure I'll find a new favorite. But it's just a combination of the price. These are like $2 or $3. Great range of shades, and this shade, I also love the shade Tawny. That was kind of a rosy nude. Another thing that I would highly recommend picking up if you want to take advantage of that 50% off site-wide sale. So that is my big 2020 yearly favorites. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I hope it wasn't too repetitive for you. If you've been with my channel for a while, then you probably already could guess a lot of these, but that is just like all of the best products of the year put together in one video. This was super fun. I had my worst of 2020 video go up yesterday, so I will have that linked below in case you missed it and you want to hear some not so great products. Luckily, that list was much, much shorter than my best of 2020 list. But that is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you again very soon, and hopefully I will talk to you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.